Hey guys, I'm doing a video on what to look for if you're buying a used Tesla. In this video, we'll be going over a Model X. So there's specific things on a Model X that you want to look for. One of the things is open up the frunk and look to see if this, or any of them, right? See if the front of the Tesla, if this is bent or curled underneath because the owner didn't know how to close it. You close it by pushing in 2 spots to the side. And some people push on the edge, and that will curl the front of the car or crack the paint along here. So look for that. Another thing to look for is look in, just see if any of these, this is a loaner car, and I've been washing it because it is filthy. And apparently I need to wash that too. Take off that nasty thing. And then come in and look and see if any of the metal pieces, I mean, if you want to get down into the front of it too, right? But look for anything where it looks like it's been bent or mangled, like any cracks in any of these suspension mounts, right? And that will tell you that the car's been hit or wrecked. Look, you know, with these joints, right? Look for anything that's bent or cracked, same thing. Something else you can look for is look down here at the vents. See if these are all broken off, meaning if something went in there, right? You can look and see if this is all busted up. Another thing to do too is turn on the air conditioning and then look in there, because that is it's a sealed box, and so the air goes in, pushes against the condenser, or if you have an older one, it pushes against the radiator in the condenser, and a lot of leaves and crap will get kind of munched up in there and will kind of clog it up. So see how that looks. You can clean it out yourself, but if it's full of crap and it's got a lot of miles and this has been full of leaves for years and years, then you know your batteries have probably not been able to stay as cool as you'd want them to. Another one is, you know, look for janky accessories that have broken off. Yeah, that doesn't matter. So yeah, look at that. Look, you know, kind of at the fit and finish of all these pieces, right? Do they all match up? Or any of them bent or torn? Right, that's what you'll look for. Look for the body panels, see how they line up, right? Especially like in here, how far off is it? And that's pretty close, right? There's, you know, there's a gap here, thin, wider. I mean, that's just kind of how Teslas are, right? You can kind of pull it together, but just look for anything extreme. Over here, same thing. You can see, right, that piece is off. If you look over here, you'll see the pieces off over there. And what you can do is just push it, right, and I'll shove it back over. Anyway, so after that, hit the falcon wing doors. Make sure that not only do they open, but they open all the way. Do the same thing with the front door. Push on the button, make sure it opens on its own, right? So those are kind of, do that with all 4 doors. Make sure they all go up all the way. Same thing with the rear hatch. And then once you get in the car, let me turn that off. Then go in and go to software, and then you'll see the model. So Model X, hold your finger on the Model X. Then you'll see like that light ring will show up. Then type in service, and then enter into service mode. And then what you want to look for in service mode is you're specifically looking for any sort of service alerts. So click on the service alerts, see if there's anything in there. You'll see these recent ones and these ICR 059 high resistance. I just see them all over the place. I don't know. It just seems like it's noise. But you'll see a lot of those, and then you'll see a bunch of them that are for like 12 volt, and those are fine. Or at least I've had them for a long time and they've never really progressed. Let's see, warning indicator. Strength control module is detected an issue with the safety system. So there's something going on with one of the seat belts more than likely. But anything you see, right, Google it, go out on Facebook, search the groups for it, see what you can find. Cam self-call issue. So it's having a problem calibrating the cameras. I mean, all these are cleared, right? So they're all fine, right? It was an issue that it detected, and then that issue cleared up. anyway, you want to look for active alerts, especially anything that's a BMS error. That's your battery management software. Some of those can be benign, but I wouldn't dismiss anything that's underneath an active alert. So look for active alerts. Something else you can do, and I have other videos for it, so make sure to watch those, right? But you can go into thermal, you can go to actions, and you can run, just run a thermal test. Where's the thermal test? Stop drain fluid. Oh, there it is. Test thermal performance. So you can run a thermal test in there. You can run an HVAC test. I don't know what this hot seal test is because none of my cars have that, so that's kind of interesting. So I need to go learn about that and see what that's all about. Then you can look at the refrigerant system if you've got a heat pump. This is how the heat pump's configured. And then you can turn on the AC, and then you'll start seeing stuff flowing through there. And you'll see those valves will turn depending on where it's pushing the refrigerant to. So right now you can see the refrigerant is coming out of this compressor. It's getting pushed down, then it's going to the liquid cooled condenser, the cabin evaporator, right? And you'll see the flow of the coolant as it goes through that super manifold. And more than likely that's making it hard to hear. So yeah, so there's that system. You can go into like suspension. You can see if all of your suspension is within kind of the target range. You can go and look at the cameras, and you can turn all the cameras on, kind of see how the pitch and yaw is on all of them. And you know, everything's green. And then you can go, if you have an older one that has the sensors, you can go and check the sensor screen, make sure that all of the sensors are green. The infotainment, you can check on that. Once again, looking for everything that's green. Software, same thing, you're looking for, you know, green statuses. The maps, I don't know why it's not showing green there, but it's a map, right? Those will download all the time. And if there's an issue, you can always reinstall the software. And then here's the latest ECU update. I just barely, this is a loaner. I'm washing it, and I did the updates on it. Because, you know, you always return a car better than you borrowed it at, right? But you can go into the HV system. You can look and see, you know, the pyro's currently connected or disconnected, right? Everything else is looking green. Go to the charging system. Everything's green, except for there's no cable plugged in because I'm sitting in my driveway. The HV battery, right? The high voltage battery, you can look at all the components, make sure everything's golden. HVIL, same thing, right? And I'm just kind of stepping through all of these different screens, right? But you're just mostly looking for that everything's okay, right? And this power state of the accessory, I don't know why that one's orange. Maybe there's something plugged in that's drawing power and shouldn't be. There's keys, there's power distribution, right? You can go and look at that. You're just mostly going through every single screen, make sure everything looks good. Same thing, well, the TPMS, just drive it around and then check for the pressure on there's a service screen, and you can see the PSI of the tires. But you can go in and look at that, right? Wiggle the suspension, right? And you're just wiggling it back and forth, making sure it's detecting all the movement. You can start, you know, clicking on the different buttons on the steering wheel, seeing that they all show up here. Your brakes, make sure your brakes are okay, right? Oop. One problem you have with the Model X, if you step on the brake, that door's going to close and it's going to chop fooey your foot if your foot's in there. So you can go look at the windows. Everything looks good. You can also calibrate them. If you have any window that's not quite closing right, you can go through a calibration for that specific door, right? And maybe I'll run those and create a different video of it. But right here you can see that Falcon Wing door is open. You can click on the right. You can open the door. I thought you could click on that. I mean, those are showing you all of the sensors. I thought you could still click on something on the screen and it would open the door. But anyway, you can see that it's open, how it's reading the distance from the door into the car, as well as what's above the car. And sometimes with my older one, my 2017, sometimes this distance, if it's sitting in the sun, it will go down to like 1 centimeter, because I think that sensor just gets hot and the sensors are just glued onto the door. So once in a while those will fall off and kind of causes you a problem. But here's your frunk. You know, it's saying latch opened. True. And then your airbags. And you can go look at your airbags, make sure everything is golden, right? If it's been in a wreck, you'll see red on any of these if they haven't replaced them and reset it. And then the seats, right? This is detecting empty. You can put your hand on it. Maybe I'm not pushing hard enough, but eventually you'll see it show up with that you're pushing on it, right? Okay, so then what you can do is you can close out of there, and then something that I like to do is I go in and I do a light show, and then I just schedule a light show, whatever one you want. You're mostly just looking for both of the doors to open on their own and close, right? So each of the light shows, the Model X will open and close the doors. And that's a good way of verifying both of the doors are opening. Make sure you have dance moves selected so that it is opening those doors. That will collapse and open the rear view mirrors. So the light show, just walk around it as it's running and look for anything that should be moving and is not moving, right? Well, what else do you need to look at? Make sure that if you're wanting a car that has full self-driving, that under full self-driving compatibility, it says included package. If it says autopilot, all you have is autopilot. You don't have full self-driving. And then premium and connectivity, most cars, there's a subscription plan where you can pay by the month or by the year. If you're getting an older one, some of them will come with it for free for life. That's like my Model X has it free for life. And then you can go down and look at the software and see what version the software's on, see if it's been a while since it's received an update on it. And then, you know, if you've got a Model S or X, you can go into Steam. What else should we show you? Oh, something else, look at the trips, right? And see if the watts, like you're gonna have to do a little bit of research, right? But if you look at the watts per mile on a higher distance, right? If this is a really high number, if it's 500 with a Model 3 or something, then you've got something really bad going on, right? Either your alignment's way off and it's just dragging the wheels, or something's bad. Like a Model 3 should be 250, a Model Y should be 270, Model X or an S should be low 300s and X should be mid 300s. And then Cybertruck, I have no idea. Somebody wants to buy me one, I'll find that out for you. Something else you want to look for if you have an older Tesla, go to charging, look at the charge speed and see, is it 48 or is it 72 or what is that speed? Because some of the older ones will have a dual inverter and they can go to 72. Some of the older Model S's have dual inverters and they can go to 80 amps. So that's a good thing to look for if you're buying an older one. On this one, you can actually go to the suspension, and as you're driving, you can see, like as the suspension's moving up and down, you can see the sensors that are detecting that movement up and down. On mine, it doesn't show that. So it must be a super Ryzen chipset deal. Something else, like if you're gonna buy one and you need the home link, click on that home and see that it says home link. If it has home link there, then you have the chip. If it doesn't, then you don't. If it just says my Q account, that means you do not have the home link module in your car. And I think they're $300 or something like that. Trying to think of anything else I should show you guys. I think just mostly the doing the light show. Oh, something else to look for, like as you're getting in and out, look here, like these are wear pieces because people rub on them when they're coming in and out. Same thing with the seat, look on this edge, see if it's torn, ripped, because that does. If you've got perforated, the vented seats, look and see if these are starting to rip, because the newer ones have smaller holes. You can see how small they are, and this is a loaner car and I really shouldn't be rubbing on that because it's kind of gross. But the older ones, the hole size of the vented seats is much larger, and they tend to tear if people aren't careful with them. The newer ones, it's a smaller pattern. So anyway, check for that. Roll down all the windows, roll them all the way up, make sure everything works good there. Right, as I said earlier, fold your mirrors, right? Make sure the mirrors both fold in, and then unfold your mirrors, unfold your mirrors. Make sure, they both work right. You can honk the horn, right? I'm not gonna piss my neighbors off by doing that. But yeah, check in here, see what this looks like. Check at the bottom of the Falcon Wing doors, make sure there's like a plastic piece right there. Those tend to break. Oh, something else I should show you. Get this closed. And you can see it as it's coming down. There's a gasket right there that links here. Check on that gasket. There's a gasket in this crack. Check that gasket, make sure it's in good shape. And then back here, check that gasket. And there's one back here too, right there. Make sure those are all good. My understanding is the only way that the Tesla can replace those is by replacing this glass. And my understanding is $1,400 a side. So if those are missing, then when we go through the car wash or anything else, water can get in there and spray your passengers. And I mean, most of it is just for looks, but it does help with, car washes and things like that. Here's another alignment thing, right? But that's pretty much how mine looks too. They're just all off by a little bit. And when I have a minute, I'm gonna push that over, fix it. Yeah, open this up. Look for the tray back here. Make sure that it's in here, right? And then on these seats, there's a button on the side that you push, and then you can pull them up. Make sure it locks back into place. When you push it, the head rest falls, and then you can lay it down. And then I would turn on the heated seats on every seat. Make sure every seat is heated. The top two, you have cooled seats. Make sure the cooling works. The rest of them, you have heated seats. Make sure all the heated seats work. You can go around and check for your lights. I mean, lights are cheap to replace. But if it's not working, that could be a sign of some wiring problem or something. Let me close this up. I've washed it twice already, and I don't know if you can see it. There's just so much dirt. So much dirt. It's crazy. So yeah, look here, right? And these, you can just go fix the alignment, right? There's those twist posts in here. There's two of them where you can screw them in and unscrew them and line that up better. But yeah, you'll see this is off. This one's bucked up a little bit right there. I think mine is on mine, Model X too, but anyway, make sure you watch my other video. Use the Shinichi silicone and, treat those things. Oh, another thing too is look at the inside edge of the back tires right here and see if it's being scalped. So the Model X will tend to, the wheels sit inward, and so that inside edge just gets chewed up. And you can't adjust the camber arms. So if you get adjustable camber arms, then they can dial in the toe and the camber right, and it will reduce that inside wear by a lot. But don't trust the outside. I bought a set of rims from a guy. The outside looked new, and the inside, it was through the belt. And I really should have made a video of that. It was nuts. Like, you could see the metal was torn through. You could see the inside rubber, and this side looked absolutely mint. So anyway, check that out. Another thing to look for, make sure all your ultrasonic sensors are in place. Check the fit and finish of all of these garnishes. I mean, you could buy them. They're like $100 per each of them, right? So that's one, so that's $200 if those are gone, plus labor, whatever Tesla's going to charge you. Look for right, push on all these, make sure, as I said earlier, that it opens, make sure it closes. Windows folding. The front, I haven't seen that much like inner tire wear or anything like that from it. But look for anything that looks like, it's been bent, for wrecks and stuff, because those don't always get disclosed, right? But overall, I mean, this car let me show you this. I'm gonna do a lot on this video apparently. So you can go over here and look, and there you go. There's a Tesla lemon buyback. So look for that, see if there's a lemon buyback, and I'm willing to bet people have tried to steam those off or whatever to hide it. But, do a VIN search and criminy. I've been washing this thing for quite a while for a loaner. I'm doing more than I need to be. Anyway, let me know if you have any questions. I'm Trying to think if there's anything else that you should truly look for. Oh, back screen. I had another one. So if the screen is landscape instead of portrait, if I did that right, look in the back, right? And here's the screen, and you know, you can tap, make sure that everything is working okay with it. You can go through, you know, just do a couple of things and make sure it seems like it's working okay. Layout, I think I already talked about laying all the seats down. You know, do the same thing with these seats. You know, pull on the seat belts, make sure they all retract okay. Plug them all in, sit on them. And when you sit down, you'll see, oh, maybe you need somebody in the front, but you'll see that it detects somebody sitting in the seat, and then move through each seat and make sure that it detects that somebody's sitting there. And you might need somebody in the driver's seat to put it into drive, because then it'll warn you the seatbelt's not plugged in. And that way you can tell if any of these sensors have gone out by, you know, sitting there, and then it detects somebody. If you're buying an older one, make sure it has this switch to open and close the Falcon door. Some of them have like a pull push thing, and that never made any sense because I didn't know if I was pulling to open or pushing to open, or anyway. These aren't that expensive, and you can retrofit it pretty easy. You just pop it out and put the new one in. Yeah, just check the seats for scratches and nicks and dings and all that kind of stuff. You can also look, you know, on the body panel, see if the door's rubbing, if it's been rubbing into the metal here, down here, then over here. It's kind of, and right here. If it's closing off a little bit, it'll start wearing through the metal in those spots. So look for that. And yeah. All right, well, I hope that's helpful. Let me know if you have any questions.